Om Shanti everyone. Welcome to The Next Normal. I'm your host, Sister Jenna, and I hope you saw that ad for Peace in the Park, where the Brahma Kumaris will have various interactive booths there promoting inner peace for world peace. It's so lovely, isn't it? I mean, nowadays we need to have events and spaces and programs that can just raise our vibration, not take so much of our vibrations from the humanity. It's an interesting period of time that we're in. Each day there's something new, there's something emerging that is testing us or asking us to be something else, something more than we are. And my program and talk on food, vegetarianism, has emerged this conversation on the fact that I touched a little bit on the vibration and the consciousness while you're in the kitchen. And so I thought, oh, that's a good thing that some of you would like to practice vegetarianism. I'm telling you, I was an avid meat eater, and from my own experience, I don't miss it at all. I remembered once in my 30 years of being a vegetarian, I had a desire for crabs. I know you're going to laugh. And when I went deeper into it, and I remembered Sister Gita looked at me and said, "What? It's the most dirtiest thing. They eat all the gunk in the bottom of the ocean." I mean, it just shifted my consciousness, but I was asking myself, what was this desire? You haven't had a craving or a desire for any meat or any seafood. And it got me connected to when we used to go to crab houses as friends, and we would sit around the table, and then you had the newspaper on the table and all the crabs, and everyone's laughing and drinking and talking. Actually, that's what my soul was looking for at that time. And so, again, food becomes an emotional connection to what actually the soul needs. I just needed community, a sense of friendship, happiness and joy, just to be out, you know. And it was taking me to, connecting me to a food that had this deep link with me, and it was quite interesting. Needless to say, I did not have the crabs. I know I laugh at myself now. It was so long ago. I think it might have been about 10 years after I had become a vegetarian. And for the first time, just a thought came, gosh, just have a little crab. It's just a little bit. And I was like, oh, I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to hurt anything. You know, that was my real core meaning for becoming a vegetarian. I didn't want to be responsible for hurting a living being, a living life. And I just was really perplexed as to why that thought came. But as I went deeper, I realized its connection, because we eat food a lot based on emotions, things that we require. In mystical and old traditions, ancient traditions, when a departed spirit goes and they've cremated the body, they usually prepare the food that soul loved the most, because the soul is still around somewhere. And if they smell the fragrance of the food, it satisfies the need of the soul. So they usually prepare the soul's favorite food so that the soul isn't discontented as it's moving on to its next journey. There are so many mystical truths out there, and we get so distracted by our five senses, by just looking or hearing or speaking or touching and believing only in that. But there's a lot more to life than just these five senses. And today's conversation is stemmed from a question someone asked about the consciousness in the kitchen while cooking, because I had mentioned it in the show on vegetarianism. So that is huge, because that's connected to the mysticism in food. I'm sure you have seen food that's been prepared and it's on your table and it looks great. But after you ate it, it didn't give that soul satisfaction. It might have taken care of your stomach, or it gave you whatever nourishment it needed to give you, but at a soul level, that's what's missing. In the Brahma Kumaris community and family and culture, there's a huge emphasis on food, but the consciousness of the vibration in the food. And let me explain what I mean. In every one of the 9,000 centers in 110 countries, as instruments, teachers, the residents of the centers, one primary thing about the kitchen is it's clean. Floor is clean, sink is clean, there are no dishes in the tray, in the container where the drainers, okay? So then, now, you bring out your vegetables, maybe your tofu, your grains, you wash them to make sure they're clean. Frozen vegetables, because of E. coli and all of these things, your salads that are in the containers, parsley, all of these things, you have to wash them because the vibrations are still traveling in the food. It is subtle, but think about when you do that 5 times, 50 times, 100 times, eventually those whatever bacteria and stuff, they're building up and they could create a difference in your system. So we wash everything, whether it's the frozen vegetables, even when the fruits come in the home, even the bananas, the apples, everything is washed, wiped, and placed neatly in a corner where the vibrations of peace and love can be nurturing the fruits and the vegetables, so that whoever eats from Baba's home, which is what we call the centers, feels at a spiritual level nurtured. That's one thing. That's the second thing, sorry. First is cleaning the kitchen. Second thing is making sure your vegetables and your fruits are washed with love and care. And then now comes the cooking. You've got your pot on the stove, you've got your pressure cooker going, and where are your thoughts when you are in the kitchen cutting up the vegetables? What are you thinking about? Thoughts create vibrations. Vibrations attract and manifest realities. So while you're in the kitchen and you're cutting up your veggies, what are you thinking? What are your feelings? Are you rushed? Are you angry? Are you worried? Are you happy? Are you peaceful? Are you creating a new plan, a new idea? Are you sitting, are you working in the awareness of God's love? Where are you? Because it creates the vibration in the kitchen. It creates the vibrations in the food. And it creates the vibrations in the way the people eat the food, but also the way they receive the vibrations of the food. So one of the big dishes that we cook here is halwa, kheer, tofu, rice. And so especially with some of these dishes, right, you have to spend a lot of time over the pot. So when you've got your spoon in the pot, where are you? Especially for those who cook regularly, where you don't have to think. It's not a new recipe. It is something you do over and over and over again. Then you don't have to figure out how much salt to put, how much black pepper, how much hing. You don't have to think like that. You know what to do. But where's your mind? Are you worried about something? Are you worried about someone? Are you remembering the activities or the experience of the day before, the night before? Whatever you are feeling while you're cooking, that vibration is going in the food. I'll tell you a little story. There is a student, wonderful, wonderful sister from Puerto Rico. Wonderful, ethical, value-based, just an incredible human being. And she has 2 daughters and a husband. She was coming to the center for maybe about 2 or 3 years. And one of the things that I require for the students is prepare one meal in God's remembrance and just feed it to your family. So some do, and some become a little bit resistant because they're scared of doing it in front of their family. Maybe it looks really odd. But we all pray before we eat our food anyway. Well, no one's complaining about that. But to just prepare one meal in God's remembrance, in Baba's remembrance, and then serve that to your family. So she hadn't done it because she just didn't know, and her family were meat eaters. Even though she became a vegetarian, she still prepared the food that her husband and her daughters wanted. And one daughter was a vegetarian actually, but the other daughter and the husband, they were not. So she would prepare the food for them, and then she had her separate pots because the pots carry the fragrance of the meat. So if you're going to go into vegetarianism or you're going to begin to cook vegetarian food, make sure you designate a specific pot just for your vegetarian meals, because it still carries the energy of the death of the animal in the food. So separate those pots, only your vegetable pots. Only cook vegetables in there, nothing else. So she decides to actually cook one day for her daughter. And she cooked a massive meal. She was a fantastic cook. And she cooked in Baba's remembrance. And then she took out a little bit of each item that she cooked, and she had a special little plate, which we called Baba's plate, Baba's tray. And in the plate, she had small containers where she put a little bit of food in each container. And in her consciousness, Baba, I cooked this for you, and my daughter's going to eat this, you know? And so she took the plate into her special prayer room, her special meditation room called Baba's room, and she offered that food. In offering the food, she just sat in meditation, and she just let a lot of the love that she was feeling from God to pour into the food more. And she felt subtly as if it was received, like it was taken from the divine, like the fragrance of the food. This is very good, child. You've done very well. So she takes the food. This is a true story. She takes the food. She pours back what she offered to Baba in each of the dishes that she prepared. That night, her daughters came home. One is a doctor, the other one's an engineer, and her husband was also an engineer. So when they all came back home, she just put the food on the table. That day was all vegetarian. She didn't make it a big deal. She just made vegetarian for everyone. That night, she called me so happy. And I was like, what's the matter? What's going on? Sister Jenny, you would not believe. I made food for Baba. And for the first time, if you hear what my family was saying, they said, Mom, what did you do? This is so amazing. Oh my God, I feel so good. Mom, this is the best you've ever cooked. And she said, what is that magic? And I said, it's the vibration. And this is a true story. Sister Gita was so well known for her cooking. And she would cook with such a deep connection to God, I tell you. Every single person that ate food cooked by Sister Gita's hands remembered God. They just felt this deep love, this deep loving experience, and love is God. And they were just in that state. Growing up, I used to hear a slogan, to conquer the heart of a man, you have to get through his stomach. I might be wrong, but something like that. And what I've learned about that statement is, if I can let God really love me with the food that I'm cooking in His remembrance, just imagine how much support I will receive from God on a regular basis. It's an incredible way of looking at things now, isn't it? So the consciousness while cooking and the consciousness in the kitchen is a dialogue, an intimate dialogue that you engage between you yourself and God, the Supreme Soul. And you'll find that the energy and the vibrations that you put in the food is just going to support everyone in the family. They'll become so much more peaceful, so much more cooperative, and so much more loving. There's one last story I wanted to tell you before we go into a meditation. I might mess up the characters, but it's one of these Indian fables. They were going to battle on the field. There was a really naughty king, and then Krishna was also involved. And the king invited him for dinner, and he didn't eat the food. And at the end of that, the question had asked, why didn't you eat the food? And he says, because I didn't want him to conquer my mind. I'm mixing up the story, but it's similar, that whoever even I eat from, if their thoughts are negative towards me or negative whilst in the kitchen, then I too start to feel negative vibrations. There was a period that Sister Gita, Mom was feeling like she was going to die, she was going to leave the body. This must have been about 10 years ago. And she used to cook. And I was in India at the time. And I don't know why I kept picking up this thought in my mind, I think I'm going to die. Now, I don't know why I would pick up the thought. And when I came back and she started to cook, and she was cooking again for another week or so, I just kept feeling the same thought. And then I thought to myself, because she kept telling me, Jen, I think I'm going to leave the body. And then I realized, oh, I'm picking up her vibrations. And then I asked her, could you not cook for a little bit, just for a little while? Just take a break. And for 2 weeks, she didn't cook. And within those 2 weeks, I never got the thought again. There's proof in that. So it goes similarly to even when you eat at the restaurants. What is the consciousness of the chef's mind? What is the consciousness in the kitchen? And what is the consciousness of that particular venue that might be struggling to pay the bills? So the whole energy of food and money is also deeply connected to my sustenance as a soul. So I just wanted to share with you some of these mystical truths that you can decide how you want to nurture and take care of yourself. Food is very important, but your consciousness in the way you prepare your food is just as important. So let's take a moment and just pause and contemplate on these ideas for a little bit. And I'm just going to offer you a stream of thoughts while you're in the kitchen and while you're cooking. So take a deep breath in, breathe out, breathe in again, breathe out, breathe in again, breathe out. Food is such an important factor of my emotional, spiritual, my physical well-being. I'd like you to just visualize the fruits in your kitchen, the vegetables in your fridge, and the condition of your kitchen. Just look at it in your mind. And as you stand in your kitchen, just visualize how you would like it to smell and to feel. Would you like it to smell like a garden and feel like heaven? It's the heart of your home, your kitchen. It's the heart of your home. And so as you stand here in this space, getting ready to prepare food to nurture the body and the mind, you turn your attention inwards and remind yourself of who you are. I am pure peace. I am pure peace. A child of God. And I'm an instrument in preparing food in His memory to serve His other children. It's a big responsibility. And so I peacefully cut my vegetables. I peacefully stir the pot and lovingly, as I experience the energy of God's light flowing through me into the food, nourishing it purely and nourishing me. I'm feeling that there's blessings in this process. Blessings beyond what my five senses can understand. But mystical and pure feelings for the ones that I love, and even for myself. When I'm finished cooking, I'll take a little bit out to offer to the divine. And after the divine receives it, I'll pour it back in the pots and stir it with love and serve it peacefully with love, knowing that this food is sacred, is holy, is pure, and filled with love. I do that every day to nurture the inner world of my family and their physical well-being. Take a deep breath in, breathe out. Om Shanti. And that's the way you create your consciousness in the kitchen. Let's go to our beloved Sister Gita effect and hear what she has to say.
If you are not using your smile, then you are a person with $1 million in the bank, having no checkbook. Humor is most important psychological function, is to jolt us out of our habitual frame of mind and promote new perspective. This is transformation. Laughter is like an internal joy. Laughter is music of life. It increases the production of endorphins. Read humorous books. Play the games and tell the jokes. Relaxation response after a good laugh has been measured as lasting as long as 45 minutes. So, shall we laugh?
Laughter. She loved to do that, I tell you. You know, I was so absorbed in the meditation that I had missed our Awakened Intelligence segment. And so I just wanted to see if chat complemented some of the things that I shared about the consciousness that we can have while cooking. So one is to be present, focus on the task at hand. That's good. Gratitude. Practice gratitude, cultivate a sense of gratitude for the ingredients, the tools you use, and the opportunity to prepare food. This can enhance your appreciation of the meal and the nourishment it provides. Isn't that nice? Positive energy and intention. Positive intentions. Infuse your cooking with positive intentions and energy. think about the love and care you are putting into the food for yourself and others who will eat it. Calmness and patience. Approach cooking with calmness and patience, not rushed or out of compulsion. This will make the process more enjoyable and the food more delicious, as stress and haste can negatively affect the outcome of your meal. Connection and creativity. Connection to ingredients. Develop a deeper connection to your ingredients that you're using. Understand where they come from, their nutritional benefits, and how they contribute to your dish. Creativity. Use cooking as an opportunity to express your creativity. That I love. Health and well-being. Health consciousness. Be mindful of the nutritional value of the food you're preparing. Aim to cook meals that are balanced and nourishing for the body and mind. Hygiene and safety. Maintain a clean and safe cooking environment. This is crucial for the health and well-being of those who will consume it. So true. And nowadays you don't really know what souls are doing in kitchens. So that's why it's really, really, really important that wherever you eat, you feel like that an establishment is clean and worthy of you. So let's go to our Avyak signals today and hear what it has to say to you. We've been focusing on the month of uplifting those who defame you. Today is, if any corporative soul of your family, through their misunderstanding or childish stubbornness, considers temporary things to be permanent attainment and have any desire for temporary name, fame, respect, recognition, then to give regard to others while you are remaining humble yourself is another way of uplifting that soul. To give in this way is to still receive for all time for you. It's true. You're in a company, you're in a job, in an assignment, and your colleague at work wants to take your position. You see what that point is saying. How many of you are still able to give that pure wish of benefit to that person as they're also trying to compete and take your position? Here Baba is saying, do it anyway. You will always be protected because of your good wishes. All right, good morning, good day, good evening, good afternoon to wherever you are around the world. Hi Sue, hi Barbara, Om Shanti, Sister Jenna and everyone. Soul peace and continued appreciation. Wonderful seeds, 1 million in the bank. A no checkbook, I love it. So journey of courage, wow, laughter is transformative. Hi Meenakshi, thank you sister, you're welcome. Hi Joanne, such a subtle subject with such an impact on your body and mind. Thank you for sharing. You're welcome, Joanne. Hi, Dinesh Bhai. Seeds again. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. That's what I've heard. Hi, Divya Baba. Always good to have you on, my sweet sister. Anita Dakal, Om Shanti sister and all. Ann Senshin, good morning. I appreciate your vegetable soup for the soul stories. You're welcome. Rashmi Ben, Baba's Angel, Indu Ben, Lilawati, Jenna, Campbell, Skippy, Shobha, Sue, Kailash, Yukti, Ranju, Tulasi, Gigi. Thank you for joining us and making it always feel so real and alive whenever we're on together. I hope you took a lot of benefit from today's conversation and chit-chat. It's my pure wish that it helps to elevate you. So as we end the show, attachment complicates the stories we tell ourselves and others. To reduce attachment, practice loving everybody the same. Take care. See you again soon. Om Shanti.